Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Civil War Generals 2. Now, unfortunately, my computer ended up having to get a whole data recovery thing, and that was a whole long, drawn-out process that essentially put me out of action for nearly 3 weeks. But now I am back. However, the save data on this game did not save, so I'm back here in Bull Run at turn 8, and as you can notice from the minimap, there are some differences. Main thing being that Stonewall Jackson, this idiot man, well, he's not that super stupid, but you get what I'm trying to say. He ended up coming out from his fortification, came out here, and so I have one unit essentially trying to block him, more or less. I've got my units across the stone bridge, which is probably something that's a little bit more difficult to do on this map, because, you know, they can normally block you here, and of course, if you send everybody around, you can do that. But the issue is that now the Confederates have essentially abandoned their entire southern flank, and they're moving units up through the fort to try to outflank my northern army. So they're essentially trying to send the bulk of their army to defeat a portion of my army. But, yeah, I haven't moved my units all that much. I was waiting for them to recover. I was waiting for this to happen, because the AI 99% of the times will do this, if you don't press them too hard. So I'm going to essentially be attacking from the south and from the east, and hopefully, you know, be able to kind of hold them off up here in the north. They are sending some units up north, not really anything all that powerful. They have one dude, they have Mr. B right there, an artillery unit. Now, unfortunately, my cavalry cannot end up hitting, but there's not much you can do about that. I'll send him right up there. And with artillery, if you're not able to hit them immediately, or if you have a really weak cavalry unit like this, so long as they're not surrounded by other units, you can just put them right next to it and they will deploy, then you can run that cavalry unit away. So essentially keeps them from being able to be more of use. Now, this guy right here, he is in fortifications. He's not dug in though, which I don't really understand how he's not. Maybe whenever they're attacked in a fortification they're no longer dug in, I don't know. But he still does have a relatively strong cover bonus. He has a +5 to his defense. This number here that you can end up seeing is a case where if this artillery unit was unlimbered, they'd have a +1 to their defense, but because it's deployed as a +5, like this cavalry unit here, because it's on horseback, and this changes if they're non-horseback, it has a -1 on horseback, and it has a 0 for cover on foot. So it's all-terrain modifiers are what is essentially what it is. But I have Mr. Howard right here that's facing Stonewall. I have an artillery piece right here that can essentially blast him. And will you do it? Thank you. You're still not weak enough for me to really charge you out, but it's better than nothing. And this artillery battery, the only thing he can hit... Oh, no, actually, no, he can't hit other people. Okay, I was like, he can only hit other artillery or engineers, even though there's really no point in shooting engineers. Unless, you know, you've got, like, no other target. Now I'm going to go and just shoot you instead. We can you up a little bit. I don't think he has a range on me because, as you can see, I'm not sure how well that'll actually be picked up on YouTube compression. But you can see how there's kind of like faded lines. That means that because this man's a howitzer, howitzers are able to fire indirectly, and depending on where you hit in the hex, like I've always discovered, like in this situation, if I have my mouse pointer somewhere in here, I almost always hit. And I have expected to completely and utterly miss. I'm like, yep, that completely figures. Gonna go ahead and march out Sherman. Sherman's gonna get shot all to hell, but there's not much you can really do about that. Keep you moving. He was my main battery taker. I didn't want to move him elsewhere just because he'd be out of the way. I will go ahead and let you rest up. Now, he doesn't have a lot of men that were end up like actually hurt, like killed, but he has a lot of ineffective units. So, I mean, he had 99 men killed after being shot like a dozen or 2 times. Now, these units here, they're really not all that powerful, but I am going to go ahead and keep on shooting you. My sharpshooters I can only attack you. Have fun. Can I hit you? No, I can't. Nah, oh well. Made that unit route. I already did make one of their units end up routing. I think it was a cavalry unit, or maybe it was even the scouts. Was it you? Yeah, it was Jeb Stewart. I made him route. Okay. Now you, can I attack you directly? You have a much weaker weapon than I do, and I have more men. Do you have a height advantage? No, you don't. Okay. I should be able to do that without much of an issue. Yeah, that hurt a fair bit, but now that unit is more or less ineffective. Yes, they're completely ineffective. Don't go no-sir on me. Now, this artillery unit might actually attack my unlimbered guys here. I would actually kind of prefer that because, again, Sherman has a lot of firepower here. He has, you know, the best weapon, I think, out of all the groups. Do you have a better weapon? No, you don't. You have a Prussian musket. Oh, you have a fuck ton of men, that's why. You have 5,700 men in your division or brigade or wherever the hell it is. Porter here, he's not that happy. Just kind of saying, even though David Hunter, I have two division commanders right next to each other. Maybe not the absolute best thing to have. Now, normally with all artillery, I need to stop auto saving. It's a force of habit with me. Now, this artillery unit, I always prefer to charge them immediately. Because if you don't charge them, then a lot of the time you really won't, it'll hurt too much. But hopefully, Runyon will be able to remove this artillery piece. That really hurt. But now, Mr. Burnside, being able to do one thing correctly. Okay, no, he can't charge, but he should be able to remove it. Thank you. Now, I could have also surrounded that unit because they can't move across this river. So that would essentially act as other units being around it, and I could have surrounded and captured that unit, but I figured it was really not worth the trouble. I don't have enough time before other units start coming up. Now, you're pretty weak. I'm not sure if they're going to keep sending units up or not. I would ideally get you out of here, but I'm going to let you stay there for the moment. You go forward a little bit. I'm hoping that my action down here will cause them to kind of shift back a little bit towards here. That would be ideal, but that's also not, you know, guaranteed. Everyone else, I believe, is being used. Yep. Yep, he shot Sherman. 10 firepower he lost. That's a lot of firepower. You're actually starting to send units all the way down. I'm okay with that as well. Now in this game, a lot of the time, as I've said, the AI will almost always on this map, they'll almost always push Lewis forward. I actually had them push balls forward when my units were right here in station, but as soon as they essentially spotted my units or got into contact, they ended up pulling back. I have never seen them push balls forward before, but I don't know, maybe I was just having too much inaction up here, or I'm not entirely sure. Only one around here is Evans again. They're essentially removing their entire northern flank, which works fine for me. You are a 7-gun. Okay, I can move here. 7-inch... sorry, it's a 6-inch gun. I don't know why I thought you were a 7-inch gun. But they only have a range like... forces essentially block any of those sort of views, so that's the reason why on very forest-heavy maps. And this one kind of constitutes that too. I mean, you have a humongous open area all around here, essentially. But your first initial fighting, I really like having a howitzer of some sort, preferably a 12-inch howitzer, because that's a little bit longer range than the regular, I think, like 5-inch howitzer. I don't remember what this game has anymore. I haven't played it in way too long. Have Mr. Early, have Hampton. I don't even know how you pronounce that name. I don't even know what PSTG. Wait, so you have 2 middle names or 3? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I really don't. Maybe I'll do some research on them. I don't know. Yeah. In terms of like generals and stuff, I know very little. But it's also something I don't really ever research. Now, I could send Mr. Wilcox up here to attack David Jones, but he would be essentially attacked by two much stronger units than him on his own, which is never a good idea. I will go ahead and move my sharpshooters up over here. Sharpshooters are a good thing, like, if they end up keeping their units here in a defensive position, your sharpshooters will likely die, but you can, like, pop a unit and have them run away, and if the unit ends up chasing after, then lo and behold, that unit is now not having a good day. I'd like to kill Bonham, just for the amount of units he has. You know, he has nearly 5,000. That's just ridiculous. I have no idea if they had brigades at the start of the war that were that size. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't know when they started really adopting division-style units. I want to say that this is also me trying to remember a good amount of time ago, so I could be 100% incorrect, but at the very start of the war, both the Union, and I want to say the Confederates, but I'm not sure. I want to say for the Union, they didn't create units that were larger than a brigade, because when during the Mexican-American War, or essentially any previous war, I want to say just Mexican-American War, they didn't have a unit larger than a division. So they went, well, a unit larger than a brigade, so they didn't want to use anything larger than a brigade. That's, if I remember, why can't I remember his name? Some Scott. I can't remember his fucking name. The guy that made the Anaconda Plan. That was his reason behind it. I don't have enough. I'm just going to charge you. That hurt a lot. That still really kind of hurt. You're being a dum-dum for just sitting there. Screw you. Now you've routed. I have my Mr. Runyon over here. You really need to just kind of sit back, take a load off your feet. Plain simple. And you, go ahead and keep on moving. I should move my artillery battery. He only has a 6 range, but I want to move him probably somewhere over here. Hopefully I'd be able to get the Confederates to kind of like bunch up in this region and do like some massive surrounds. That would be ideal, but also, you know, it depends on what the AI does. If I had played this game a lot recently, it would help for me to, like, you know, remember, but I don't remember a damn thing as to how to really play. Yeah. Oh, you wounded Sherman, you motherfuckers. Of course you did. I need to deal with that artillery battery immediately. Oh, wait, what? They get reinforcements on this? They actually do? I honestly did not even know that they did get reinforcements. I thought they didn't. I thought nobody did. I mean, to be fair, they also should not be having anywhere near as many units here now as they do. Because during the actual battle, you know, Blackburn's Ford, this essentially takes place, I think, a day after Blackburn's Ford, in this alternate reality, essentially. And the whole thing with that was, oh hey, I wounded Mr. Early. Good, I'm glad I did that. But as I was saying, the Confederates, they essentially end up having, I want to say, 23,000 men. Or I don't remember numbers off the top of my head. I'll put them in the description below, because I haven't done research on the battle beforehand, even though I should be. But I just want to get some recording done out of the way. Want to get this done. Just go ahead and keep moving. For fuck's sake. Was it Beauregard here first? Which one's here? Johnston and Beauregard. Okay. I can never remember anything now. This is what happens when you have such severe mental issues. It's hard to remember basic things. But the Beauregard ended up having, I want to say, 23,000 men here, up to 28,000. I don't remember the exact numbers. And he ended up having that facing Irvin McDowell's 34,000 men at Bull Run. And General, I don't think he was a general, like Colonel Patterson in the Shenandoah Valley on the Union side was facing Johnston with 16,000 men compared to Johnston's like 11,000, 12,000 men. And what ended up happening was because God damn it! Why can't I remember words? Was because Mcdowell ended up essentially pushing him at Blackburn's fort. He was repulsed, but he ended up pushing there anyway. Ended up calling for immediate assistance from Johnston the Shenandoah, but he wanted to make sure that Patterson's forces didn't end up joining Irvin McDowell's. So I want to say through some form of trickery, he ended up making it appear as his units ended up staying there, and actually 1 hour after Johnston had already ended up moving, Patterson had sent a telegram to Washington, I believe Washington, maybe it was McDowell, saying that he's keeping the enemy in place, and it's like, no, you really aren't, dude. And it ended up taking them a day. It was the first major use of railways of transiting troops, and and because of that, the numbers were relatively even. And granted, had McDowell ended up attacking a day earlier, he ended up spending because the battle took place on July 21st. He ended up spending the July 20th essentially doing a whole bunch of ineffective scouting with his cavalry, and he didn't really ever probe the lines. So there, you have a tiny bit of history lesson that I probably immensely butchered. God, I still can't fucking charge you. God damn it. Ideally, I would. I'm going to keep pressing. Do I really want to press you? Go and rest up a little bit, actually. You move forward a bit, you move here and deploy. There, you have a slightly better... I guess you got wounded, maybe. Your influence a little bit less, or maybe the man just getting tired. Like, I want to stop. No, your influence is less too. I guess it has to do with the organization. No, your organization is really good. I don't remember how like that sort of stuff ended up working in this game anymore. Again, that's what happens when you don't play for a long period of time. You tend to forget. Now I don't know what I want to do here. You're kind of out in the open. I'm not sure if they'd openly attack you like that. Bonham's big, but he's only big in number. If I move you here, there, that should help. Even if Bonham attacks you, you're not in a great position, but it's better than nothing. You go ahead and rest up a little bit. Yep, gain back your supply. Just go ahead and rest up as well. Alright, we're good. Next turn. That hurt a little bit. Okay, so you're going after WTO with all 3 units, aren't you? Nope, only the 2. Please, only the 2. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, idiot. That really hurt you a lot. The leader wounded ended up being a main thing. That's only a minor wound. He's still in command. Oh no, he's not in command. Okay, I guess he ended up having an option not to. You essentially get 3 messages with commanders. And it's a case where they either get minorly wounded, where they have a little bit less, their stats are a little bit decreased, but they can still fight. They end up getting wounded and have to be carted away, or they end up getting killed. That unit is essentially shattered at that point, so I'm kind of okay. I'm going to go ahead and shoot at you. Do I even have... Okay, I can shoot. I can shoot the cavalry unit, but there's really no point. I don't like to use my artillery on cavalry units unless they're really meaty and powerful. Because artillery's main point is to lower morale and to lower firepower. And the more firepower that the unit ends up having, the more that they'll end up losing. You have a -3 cover bonus. I would have a 2 cover bonus. Okay. I could even send Sherman out to kill that guy if I really want to. Which I might go ahead and do, just to utterly neuter that unit, essentially. I'm not sure how many surrounds I'm actually going to get off today, if any. I should, but they're kind of pulling back over here, which is not fantastic. And Mr. Davis here is not exactly in what I'd call great. Really, Scout? Really? I was like, I almost immediately charged him. I'm like, no, that'd be stupid. Deal with you really quick. Charge at you. There we go. Yeah, you're not so happy now, are you? I'm not sure I want to charge a Longstreet like that. Be moving up into B, the bottom and B. Fuck you, Scout. Kind of run away with that too. That's always fun. You'll really run away or run. Screw you. Now, essentially, whenever you end up charging, you're essentially attacking twice, so you will use twice as much ammo, as well as, you'll essentially end up attacking twice, but they are registered independently, so you can have a charge that goes off that doesn't end up being activated because the unit runs away firsthand. Oh, screw it, just get him out of here. I took more casualties, goddammit. When I said I want him out of here, preferably don't get all yourselves killed. That's not ideally how it works. You have, like, I guess you don't have full morale. Fine. You go ahead and just repair a little bit. I don't know why I said repair. I guess you're repairing. Just get out of here. I also have expected that to not work either, which would have really irritated me. It's like, why didn't that work? It should have worked. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and charge all of you out. Dealt with you. I can probably... No, I can't charge with you. I don't need to, hopefully. There we go. I was essentially near the Confederates' offensive abilities at the moment. Yeah, that was painful. Nearly half... Well, okay, a third of that unit is now dead. I'm starting to kind of make a little bit of a bind here. He cannot attack me... No, he might be able to attack me through with Bonham. Longstreet probably can't because they're in the red. I don't know what I want to do with you. He can't attack me, at least. I'm just going to go ahead and dig in here. And the unit wasn't able to get any more supply because 2 units, even though this one is routed, if 2 enemy units are blocking it, they can only get half supply. If 3 enemy units are blocking it, they can only get quarter supply. And if more than that are blocking it, then they can't get any supply at all. And it'll say so. But he's not hurting for supply, so I should be okay. And that's the only one. And next turn. Yeah, that hurt. Yeah, that one also hurt. Well, it didn't hurt as much, so I'm okay with that one. Send your cavalry all over Hell and Creation.